So what we know so far is that simply he has cancer and is receiving treatment, which perhaps might imply radiotherapy or chemotherapy or something of that nature. And that he will not be doing the public-facing aspects of his role as king, which is, going around the country on engagements, or indeed international travel. However, he will be continuing with the core constitutional functions of the monarch, going through state papers, having audiences with the Prime Minister, holding Privy Council meetings. So that's really as much as we know so far.
The fact that he will continue those constitutional duties, does that give us indication of its potential seriousness, that perhaps he's going to still be able to manage working?
It is a positive sign. The king does have, red boxes every day, and it's 2, 3, 4 hours of work sometimes. So the fact that he's able to do that, although it's relatively light desk-based stuff in many ways, but the fact that he's able to do that sort of, is a positive sign, as is the fact that he'll, where possible, do some things in person, such as meet the Prime Minister or Privy Council meetings. So, there are some positive signs there.
Yeah. How unusual is it to share a diagnosis like cancer for a royal?
It's pretty unusual. When the Queen and Prince Philip were unwell towards the end of their lives, the statements from Buckingham Palace were fairly short and often begged more questions than they answered. And we knew nothing really about the Queen's condition until after she died, and the fact that she had bone cancer. So this is a very different approach, and follows what happened with, his prostrate sort of 2 weeks ago, when they announced that, with the idea of increasing awareness of these conditions and encouraging men, in particular, who are very bad at going to the doctor, and
Yes.
I am as well,
Yeah.
encouraging men to do that. So.
And in a way, it's a positive thing, because it makes the royals feel very human to a degree. It's saying, well, we are just like everybody else.
Yes, absolutely. It is a humanizing aspect that they, like the rest of us, sort of, are victims of cancer, and, have to go through what we all know someone who's been affected by cancer, and, the royal family are no different. And it's worth mentioning the Duchess of York as well, who has also received a cancer diagnosis recently. So, it shows that in many ways, they are a normal family just like we are.
Yeah. What was also quite surprising was how quickly Prince Harry left the US to go and visit his father. That is, I suppose, quite a positive sign for what's become quite a strained relationship.
Yes, it's the fact that that was announced very quickly shows that there are times when you just have to let sort of what's happened over the past few years just go by, and that family bonds are ultimately more important.
It is interesting, to see with, of course, Princess Kate was in hospital, the King was in hospital. It does show you that the royals who do perform duties are sort of running a little thin. Do you think it'll focus a little bit of attention on potentially broadening the number of royals that are on royal duties, even though they were trying to sort of reduce the monarchy to a degree?
Yes, this is a significant issue that, in the UK, but also, in the Commonwealth realms, including Australia, that the monarchy has to be seen to be believed. And, if you have fewer royals doing public duties, then it's harder to do that. And, it is notable that the King has not travelled to any of the Commonwealth realms yet. There were plans to do so. There were plans to come to Australia, and they are all now up in the air. And so there are many demands on members of the royal family, and having fewer members of the royal family, makes it harder to meet those demands, especially when you have two of your major players out of action for a few months.
Indeed. Well, I guess the one positive that we can draw on is the Windsors do seem to have longevity on their side, don't they, when we look at how long both his parents and his grandmother lived.
Well, yes, absolutely. It's sort of the Queen Mother lived until she was 101. Prince Philip, just shy of his 100th birthday, and Elizabeth II was 96. So, they have some very, very good genes. They've got the best of medical attention in the world, but, fundamentally you need, those genes are strong as well. And the Windsors are a family of long livers, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we will watch as opposed the weeks and months pass. Good to have you on, Craig, and you get to the doctor when you need to. Don't you be sloppy about that.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Goodbye.
cheerio. Bye-bye.